Yeah, we're soul sisters. Together we gon' make sure that you know Jesus. Right now could be your breakthrough. Just come join with us. 'Cause the Spirit might just make you yell out, Lord Jesus. Right here on the Godly View.
Can't hear you, sis.
Yeah.
You muted.
Listen, I got excited.
I see you.
Listen, the Godly View, we're back again another week. I'm your host, facilitator tonight, Stephanie Sonia, aka Pastor Greer. But I'm gonna go ahead and let my sisters fully introduce themselves first, and then we're gonna swing back on around to me. Okay? All right.
Yes, indeed. Welcome, family, our viewing family, and our lovely sisters. Of course, I am Janine Lamb, known as your Kingdom Business Coach from South Florida, Palm Beach, Florida. And I'm just happy to be here on tonight. I'm not really feeling the well, so y'all pardon me if I look a little flesh, but that's okay because, I always get a little energy and excitement when I'm here with my sisters, being able to dialogue and chit chat and catch up. And so, love you all, and I'm excited for this conversation on tonight.
Yes, super excited. We hope you feel better, Denise. Sending love and hugs from Mississippi. This is your purpose pusher, Andrea Purry. I am so excited about our hot topics on tonight. Ready to dive in with my sisters. Like Janice said, like anytime we come together, it's always a good time. It's always a place where we get re-energized. And I kind of coined it. I think the last time we were on, like Saturday Sister Circle. So that's when the Soul Sister. So it's the Soul Sister Saturday. It's a time where we come together and we're able to share with you and pretty much God's view on what the world is going on in today. So
Yes,
we're
yes.
looking forward to some good conversation about some trending topics and things that we have going on in the world.
Yay, yay, yay. As my sisters have beautifully introduced themselves. I'm gonna slide on in and introduce myself. I'm Persephone Sonia, aka Pastor Greer. I'm a wife, a mother, studying to be a real estate agent. Really excited about that. It's gonna be a process, but I'm excited about it. I'm so excited to be able to have this outlet and have this is not just ministry. This is not just a live. This is not just a show. This is not just a social media thing. This is my family, my sisters, us sitting around the kitchen table with our tea, our coffee, our soda, our whatever, and having some scones, some macaroons, some whatever it is, and just sitting around the table and just talking about these things, but always, always, always focusing on what does God say about this? What is the godly view of this? We take pride in the fact that this show is different and that we are doing what the word tells us to do, to be different, to be set apart. And we are just so glad to have you all with us this evening. We're going to go ahead and jump on into the trending topics. We're doing trending topics this week. And we also will have a sister segment towards the end from our sister Andrea Purry, the purpose pusher. Okay. So the first subject, and this is one of those subjects that every week there's a different part to it. There's a different layer to it. It's an onion of a story. Our good sis Kiki Palmer, she had a baby. She has discovered, the new momminess in the new mommy body, and how if you are more slender before you have children, and then you have a child, and then you boop 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 blah, and things happen, and you start to feel yourself. She has been on what I think is a media blitz and letting everybody know I'm happy, I'm excited, boom, boom, boom. She went recently to singer Usher, R&B star, R&B phenom Usher is in Vegas right now doing a residency. And he picked her out of the crowd during his show, and she had on a very revealing ensemble. Cheeks was out,
It was all that was out there.
it was a lot going on, and she was all into it, and it was very performative and very free and open. And her boyfriend, her baby's father, Darius Jackson, had something to say about it. He made references to the fact that he personally did not feel comfortable with her outfit. And I'm paraphrasing here, but he was like, it's the outfit, you a mom though, and you know social media was very heavily divided on this.
Yeah.
And even as things tended to die down a little bit, there's still this commentary that is going on concerning, number one, new mommyhood and how women are supposed to be and supposed to act and supposed to look and supposed to dress after becoming mothers, if there's a difference between pre-mommy and their mommy status. Also, if you're in a relationship, should you or how do you consult the guy that you're with, whether it's a boyfriend, a baby daddy, husband, whomever. So there are a lot of different layers to this, and we're gonna jump on into it and discuss. Coach Lamb, how you feel about this situation?
Ooh, Jesus, listen, it's been an interesting one. It has been interesting one seeing just all the chit chat, like you said, and chatter about it. Me personally, I've been very torn, if I could say, on my views of it because I kind of am. I see the rights and wrongs on both sides of this coin, if that makes sense, both from Kiki Palmer and the boyfriend side. But I also have been trying to be mindful of my perception of this as well, because I know our sister Andrea points this out oftentimes when we're having these conversations that I don't know Kiki Palmer and or her boyfriend and their faith, and their posture when it comes down to what they believe in. But I will say that that style of attire, if we're speaking from a secular posture, is common. And it has even in other settings caused some chit chat. Like y'all remember when Sierra had her little shindig recently, and she had her stuff exposed. I think who was the other one? Gabriel Union had a little exposed fit recently. So these type of things have been having to happen before. And but so I do agree with a lot of the people that we've seen that have made the summation that they don't think this controversy was primarily about her attire for her boyfriend. They felt like it was deeper than that. I actually think so as well, and I agree so as well, because I did see a comment or a post that she made after the fact where she made mention of the fact that when she was leaving the house, he did see her, and then not only did he see her, but he gave her a little love tap on as she went out the door, and so forth. And so I think it was the summation of all of the events that occurred there. The fact that she was exposed like that, I guess it may be when he saw her in that light, in the just with that whole ordeal of how it occurred with her and Usher and the whole suave in it. And I'm not gonna lie, I was a little shocked at her response to Usher, because they're all famous, and I know there are famous people that do get still that fan shock vibe to other celebrities, but she was like jittery, what I'm saying? Like she was like, you would have thought she was a regular person, saying, just going crazy over her celebrity crush and things of that sort. And so and then she had other videos that she had posted, I guess, lives after the initial incidents, where she was still just raving about his physique and things of that sort. So she sis was going in, sis was going in. And so I can see how that may have potentially stirred the insecurities or the concerns in her boyfriend, beyond just the issue of the outfit, However, just like many are saying, I think the conflict with him is that it was the open approach to him addressing the issue, what I'm saying, that caused the most issue for most people on his end, because that should not have been something that he addressed her openly like that. What I'm saying? That should have been a more private matter that he addressed, amongst themselves, And so I agree with those thought processes on the situation. Like I said, I do think that them not potentially, again, this is, don't quote me on, because again, I don't know their faith. So I know you have to kind of look at it a little differently, because the world, what can you expect? You can expect people that are, you can't expect to do nothing more than what they do. You know what I'm saying? And so if I'm looking at it from that angle, I would say that what she did is normal from a worldly perspective. But I will say this, hint, godly view, that as women of faith, if we were in that situation. So I think if this conversation was the situation with Sierra, it would have been a little bit different, because Sierra and things of that sort, they have a little bit more of a conflicting situation, because they are supposed to be believers supposedly, and so there's, I think, a higher expectation that people view them in, or higher light that they look at them in. But yeah, it's modesty is still in style, you all, and holiness is still right. But I know when you're talking about out there in Hollywood, it's it gets raunchy out there. Yeah.
Well, I think, like you said, the issue wasn't probably the outfit. It was who seen her in the outfit and how she was dancing with him. And my sister, Jasmine, said she probably was happy to get that attention from Usher, because she wasn't getting it from her partner since the baby. Oh, okay, Jasmine. That's something different to look at. I think as a new mommy, I haven't had any kids, but I know when I have seen some of my friends and some other people, I think it's like you want to feel like yourself again. And I feel like her going to this concert with the outfit, she was in her element. She was feeling like, probably young Kiki looking at Usher. And I know Janine was like, she was a regular person, but I don't know why people sleeping on Usher. Usher be getting these women to come to these concerts. And it don't matter if because I remember Kimora Lee Simmons, I think he danced with her when she came. But the thing that I was looking at, because now it's like a real thing. Now the celebrities are going and taking their men with them. Because I seen who was it? Oh my gosh, she's a model. She was on America's Next Top Model. She had a skin pigmentation. Oh, Whitney, I think her name is Whitney. But
Winnie Harlow.
Winnie Harlow.
Yeah.
Yes, her. So
I loved her reaction.
She came to the concert and she sat on her boyfriend's lap. So he was there with her. So she was like, we ain't doing that, Usher. Yeah, Sweetie went to the concert too, as well.
And Taraji P. Henson.
She didn't do too much dancing. She was just like, Usher, nice. But I think it's the reaction. I think a lot of times with men, they have kind of like an ego. They have like something kind of a protector, possessive, which to me is a good thing, because you want your man to want you and you want him to be protective of you. But at the same time, you don't want him to do it in public. I think the thing that happened that was like really, really, really bad was, if you do this to the person who you have a child with, you're setting them up to be ridiculed from other men who had that same feeling. You're setting them up to be shamed. You're setting them up to have all of these different outlets. And literally, 2 or 3 weeks later, we're still talking about this because of him openly trying to correct her instead of doing it privately. I think there's a scripture in the Bible about open rebuke as well as private rebuke. There is something where I believe, especially when it comes to someone who is in a relationship with someone else, at this extent, it's like you're saying you have morals and you have values. This is your second statement, but she's not your wife. And you're trying to have all of these, to me, these things, and you're trying to say all of these things, but why won't you get married? And for me, coming from a godly view, I feel like I know Stephanie was saying like the different types of, different type of partners and stuff. I feel like there's a difference between when you're a girlfriend and when you're a wife. I feel like there's a different level of respect. There's a different level of honor. It's just different. It's very different. When that person has your last name, it's different. And if he was already liking and doing certain things with her, because people started pulling up stuff from his Twitter with him being naked, him in draws. And that was like, is this what a father should do? And it's like, you not only open up the person who you with to the public shame, you opening up yourself to public shame. So I seen something from his brother as well, where his brother was like, y'all give him, y'all give him some slack. And I was like, man, I kind of wish his brother could have talked to him before he posted it and told him, give her some slack and wait till she get home and y'all talk about that. But it is something that I feel like it has become a hot trending topic. And then for us being in Christianity and how we want to present ourselves before the world, even going to different things, we want to be in a place where we are showing modesty. We are presenting ourselves as women and ladies of integrity. And I think that's the main thing. I think if you don't hear nothing else from us today, I think one thing that we want to say is mothers can feel and be sexy without showing everything. Mothers can, go out and have fun with their girls without, everything being exposed. And there is a level of modesty that we as Christians, we want to uphold and we want to be. And then on the other hand, when you're not, you're going to wear whatever you want to wear. And we can't hold these people to a standard that they don't want to be at. If she want to be out there showing everything, she going to be out there showing everything. And that's that on that.
Well. Yes. Both my sisters have definitely presented the godly view of things very, very clearly and very what's the word? The word got wings and it just flew away. Very not moderately, but neutrally. Thank you, Lord, Holy Spirit. Thank you for sharing what you have seen as a very, interesting situation. And I'll add to it by saying, as a new mother myself, my son is 8 months old. I went through that stage of, time I get out of the hospital, I'm counting down the days until I can, start exercising and getting myself together. I blew up, because I had preeclampsia and I lost 50 pounds in 2 weeks, just based off of the fluid retention I was experiencing. So I was ready. I was ready to lose the weight. I was ready to get myself together. I was ready to, be the old Persephone. And I mean, because I was actually losing weight before I got pregnant. So I was ready to get back to the point where I was, losing the weight again. My wanting attention was really I just wanted Cliff to look at me and be like, oh, there she is, and I, felt very empowered by what my body had just gone through. And, the postpartum depression definitely, fudged things up for a while. But once I came out of that, I wanted to be, sexy Steph. I wanted to be that for my husband, though. I didn't want any other man's attention. I wanted my husband's attention. And like Andrea said, there is a difference between what you have the expectation, of being a girlfriend versus being a wife. And there is a difference. However, like my sister said, it depends on your individual feeling, how you individually feel, what your individual convictions are, because clearly Kiki did not have any convictions when she put that outfit on. She knew exactly what was going to happen when she put that outfit on. She wanted the attention. You don't go outside with only lace covering your butt cheeks if you don't want attention. So she knew that somebody was going to be looking. When she left and her guy saw what she had on, he didn't have anything to say at the moment. But if Ursher is dancing with your girl, that's gonna make anybody feel some type of way, especially because of what she had on, especially because of the extra wispiness of it all and the extra, it was almost like, does she have a boyfriend? Is he just her baby daddy now? Well, is there some developments we ain't know about? Because she ain't acting like she in a relationship.
Facts.
Well,
I'm just like, oh, okay. I'm more conservative, but when Cliff and I went on our anniversary trip, I did wear a two-piece. I intended on wearing a two-piece.
Fabulous.
Thank you. I wanted to wear a two-piece. I wanted to be free with my husband and frolic on the beach. But see, I felt more comfortable doing that because I was with my husband. I was with my covering, I didn't just have the covering of the sarong. I had the covering of the covenant. So I felt more comfortable going out on the beach like that. Of course, it's hot. It's the beach. It's beach wear, but I still wanted my husband to see what I was going to wear. I didn't tell him what I was going to wear. I asked him, I said, does this look okay? And he's like, looks great. And I'm like, I feel good. And he said, that's what matters. But if he had said, Persephone, I understand that you're wanting to feel a certain type of way, but I would feel more comfortable if you wore a one piece, or I would feel more comfortable if you wore a tankini. I would feel more comfortable if maybe you just wore a thin sundress or something like that. Then I would have obliged to my husband. But also he's secure in knowing that I only have eyes for him. I only want his attention. I only want to be sexy for him. So there's so many different elements that go along with that. And like Andrea said, don't be talking about in your little statement talking about as a husband. You ain't a husband, sir. If you're going to be, I love how Lovely T on YouTube, she had one of the best commentaries I heard about the situation. She was like, if you were so conservative and you're so much thinking of your legacy and your family and all this, you wouldn't have impregnated her before you made her your wife. You would have married her first and then impregnated her. Then you would have had more leverage to talk about. But see, a lot of married couples even still don't do that. A woman could go cut all her hair off, won't say nothing to her husband, come home with blonde hair, blue hair, green hair, and the husband just has to deal with it. But for me personally, whenever I want to do something with my appearance, I check with my husband first. I just let him know, hey, I'm thinking about doing this. How do you feel about it? And it's not that he's controlling me or that I'm scared of him or anything like that. It's just honor. Like Andrea was saying, it's the honor that you pay to a spouse. But in this situation, there wasn't no honor taken, given, borrowed, bought, traded, sold. None of it. There was no honor there. None. The outfit, the actions, the posting. No, he should not have done that publicly. You just don't do that. Because even just think about it. What if he hadn't ever said anything?
We wouldn't be talking about it.
That part. We would have thought our little thought like, oh, Kiki, cheeks out. Okay. Cheeks out, Palmer. Okay, all right.
But then again, I think we probably wouldn't have been talking about it in this way. But I don't know. I think it probably would have still stirred some conversation just because of the extent of the outfit was.
Yeah,
she was out here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But
and that wasn't her first
conversation.
Yeah, she had been doing this ever since the baby came out.
But it wouldn't have been picked up as much because it went viral because of him.
It's a different angle because of him. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a question about this just for y'all, because as we've been seeing the aftermath of these different things unfolding from her situation, and this is, I'm not gonna lie, this is a part that has been a little I've been again torn on it, because I have seen a lot of the responses from people on it, and obviously we're expecting, it's not a surprise that a lot of backlash to get that, especially the boyfriend has gotten. But do you all feel like this situation is forgivable? Because what I am disheartened about, which I'm not gonna lie, even though I do feel as if he was wrong in how he handled things, I hate the fact that this is a situation that's going to potentially, or could have the potential to tear their family apart. as if it's the end of the world, you know, because I know relationships go through things. I know people have to learn to, you know, even if you were going to take marriage vows, you know, for better and for worse, you know, it's a process through the hard kinks in relationships, you know, and that is now the father of her child. And I hate the fact that so many are now pushing for her to, oh, she need to get rid of him. And she's posted videos. I don't know if she's just joking or doing it jokingly,
She
or if she's
said she
doing
was
it
just joking.
seriously. You know,
She
huh?
said she was just joking. She said she
Oh,
was
okay. I
just
wasn't
joking.
sure because I wasn't sure. She's been posting jokingly, like, you know,
Uh-huh.
oh, because I know they got little clips of her saying stuff. Oh,
Act
I'm
up.
gonna
You could get.
get somebody else and things of that sort. So, like,
She
oh
said,
Lord, I
"You
hope
gonna
these.
act up? I'm about to link up.
Yeah,
If you gonna
yeah.
act up, I'm about to link up."
Yeah, the link up that one there, yeah. But if she hasn't said it jokingly though, that does give me some relief though, because I'm not saying that what he said is excusable and she should take that. They need conversations and they need assistance, like Andrea was saying. Hopefully, he got brothers in his corner and his influence that can influence him on how to properly address things. But I don't think this is something that's so unforgivable to where they should destroy their possibility of having a family going forward with what they have. You know what I'm saying? But
So they did a podcast before this came out, and he was talking about how he was overwhelmed by being with her when they first got together. I'm gonna send y'all the link for the podcast in the chat. But I think one thing we have to kind of view is, like Pastor Gregory said, like this is a celebrity status. This is you're on a whole nother level. And if you're gonna be in a relationship with a celebrity, there are certain do's and don'ts, and there are certain things that you have to do in order to cover them, especially as a man. Like you, there's another level of covering that has to come with your relationship, because what you do, all eyes are on you, and you instantly go viral at the inkling or sign of anything, that's whether it's detrimental to her. And then it's like he's doing this for public attention as well, because he wanted someone to say, yeah, she wrong, yeah, she shouldn't have did that to you, bro. And instead of you looking for the affirmation of men and women, you need to go to your relationship and look for the affirmation from both of you guys together. Like you cannot break down or tear up your household because of a disagreement and feel like you're going to continue to stay together, because it doesn't look good for you going forward in a relationship with someone who is high profile. But anyone, whether you regular smuggler or whether you're a celebrity, does not want their husband running to social media or their boyfriend running to social media to embarrass them. Anyone on anywhere. That is no. And the same for any man. They don't want they well, I ain't gonna say any man, because some men may like it. I ain't gonna go that far. But I will say for the relationship status, you do not want to be publicly shamed. But I did want to ask Pastor Persephone a question, because she had said, if she changed her hair color, she gonna talk to her husband before she do that. If she change certain things, you're gonna talk to him before you do that. So he's gonna. So I was thinking, like, do you think that he would talk to you if he like wanted to cut his beard?
I would hope so. I mean, I've seen him without his beard. I've seen pictures of him without his beard, and he still makes my heart go pitter patter.
I love it.
Beards just happen to be my thing, and he also happens to be my thing. So whether he has a beard or not, I'm still going. I'm still going to holler.
But I'm just saying, like, have y'all discussed, like, okay, if you do this, you gonna come to me, we're gonna talk about it, like.
Yeah, I mean, we have had like, I know he had, because of his work, he can't have it as long as he would like, or as full as he would like. So he does have to trim it from time to time. But that's the paper. You can't mess up the paper. You gotta adhere to what the corporate standards are. But if it were anything else, yeah, I think that he would still, consult me. He asked me how things look, if he wants to, even with like shoes, he, was looking for a pair of shoes. He's like, what do you think about these? Or how do these look? And I would let him know, oh yeah, I like those, and those will look nice on you. So we do that all the time. It's not the major changes that we're always, focus on consulting each other about. Like last summer, I cut my hair into a bob. Now, one of the things that he likes about me is my long hair. So, of course, before I did that, I was going to consult him about it and ask him how he felt. And I showed him a picture of the hairstyle that I wanted. And he drove me to the place, sat there, and then when I came out and he saw my hair, he told me how beautiful I looked. But I would not have done something like that without telling him that I was going to do it first, or without seeing what he thought about it. Because even if he said, okay, well, I don't feel comfortable with it being a bob, maybe if you cut it, a little bit longer, like shoulder length, then I would be okay with, this compromise. But yeah, we would both, consult each other about different things. Like, when we go to the gym and he had a little hoochie daddy shorts on. They're not intentionally like that. He just has big thighs, and I happen to like his big thighs, and I like looking at him in the shorts. So I'm like, yeah, let's go to the gym, boo. But he doesn't wear them like that all the time. It's just that he can't help
They
it.
ride up.
He just has big thighs. But yeah, stuff like that. Now, if I said, now, Cliff, I think you need to just wear some of them breakaway pants or something. Wear some thin, gym pants. I don't feel comfortable with you, walk around with your thighs all out, then he would. But I don't know. I was looking at him like, I see you, Mr. Greer.
That is too funny.
Balance. It's called balance.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of like a good segue to kind of go into our next topic. What do you think?
Yeah, well, let's slide on into the next topic. Comedy superstar Marlon Wayans, part of the legendary comedic family, the Wayans family. This story has been going around for a while. This isn't a new story, but we still wanted to talk about it because it does. It's another onion. Does have a lot of layers to it. I'm going to pull up a quote that he said because, of course, anybody, and we're talking about a man here, anytime a man gets to a certain age and he has not married and or had children, there's going to be the questions in certain interviews. Have you thought about marriage? What are your views on marriage? Thank you for pulling that up. He was telling Essence Magazine, he said, I never got married because I knew my mom needed me. Women sometimes want to battle for your attention. They want to battle for your love. They want to be the one. Me and my mama share the same birthday. I'm not trying to hear you. Very strong opinion. Very, a line has been drawn. So, Andrea, what you think about that?
What the scriptures say? Leave and
pull it up.
Leave and cleave.
Yeah.
Leave and cleave.
Hello.
Especially going back to our last conversation, if you are impregnating these women that you're with. We want to have, as people in the world, because I don't feel like a lot of these people have the godly view, but we're going to give it to you. You would like the benefits of the woman, but you do not want the responsibility of marriage.
Say that again, madam.
My God.
The benefits of being with a woman, but you don't want the responsibility of marriage. There is a lot of times where we can see in these social media and these media and celebrity streets where they want to take the benefits of the things, but they don't want the responsibilities. And I think even with the woman that because he talks so great about the woman that he's had children with, he has gave her props. He said he's going to always take care of her. He has said some great things. And I do want to add that, you don't see the woman that he's with or the women that he's been with. You don't hear them saying anything bad about him, because I do feel like he does do the right thing by his children. That's just me. just from seeing some things that I've seen in the past. I'm not saying that he's perfect, because obviously from this quote he's not. Because it's like there was a point where your father made your mother a wife. And to me, if you see this and you see this emulated, like, don't you want the wife or the mother of your children to have that same, antidote for the children that they have? Like, to me, it's very, very, very toxic. And I know we use this word loosely, but that's just my opinions. I don't like the statement. And I know it's his statement and it's what he likes, but I just feel like if you're having sex and you're with a woman for multiple years and you're doing all of these things and you're not making her your wife, that's a problem for me, because you want to make sure. And now that your mother has passed and she's gone on to be with the Lord, like, are you ready to have a wife now?
Child, interesting questions. I wonder, is there an update now on how he has perceived how he should move forward now that the circumstances have changed? Coach Sis, what you think about this?
Yeah, I agree with Andrea. I don't like the thought process that he has on that whole ordeal of him getting married. I personally feel as if it's an excuse to just still have like his outs of doing what he wants to do without the obligations of marriage. And it's unfortunate because we do see this sort of thing so often. Unfortunately, I hate to say this, and I don't want to, I'm not trying to speak this over the situation, but it appears from this situation with Kiki that it's a similar. That's why people were getting on him, like we were just saying. Andrea was saying that it's like, okay, hold on, you could impregnate her, you get all these requests, but you don't want to wife her. And we see this sort of thing often. You know what I'm saying? Not only just in the celebrity space,
in the Black community.
Exactly, in black community, where it's like, y'all can do grown folk things, y'all can, and it's like, since when was impregnating someone with a child, with your seed, with your legacy, somebody that's going to have to be connected to you for their life now because you have a child together? When did that become such a minor thing to where like, oh, it's no big deal about that, but oh my God, a marriage, you know what I'm saying? It's like, no, it's like, and so I think that, especially like you said, in the Black community, because you do see this sort of thing often in our space, you know what I'm saying? Not discrediting other communities, but I know you see it in our space, it's loud and clear, but I think we as men and women have to get to a space to where we are making wiser decisions on the people we involve ourselves with, right? And also, our personal development with our mindset and our posture on things, because like I said, I personally feel like that's an excuse for him, maybe because of his maybe he has his own issues or reservations about marriage, whatever the case is. And not only the fact that he might just be able to do what he still wants to do without those responsibilities. But my thing is that, okay, you're trying to make it seem like, oh, women want to be first. So what, did you experience something from the lady that you're with, to where you feel as if they would try to outshine your mother or something like that? Or, I don't understand if that's what he's experienced, like why he has this, this thought process. What makes you think that she would want to, overshadow and out, what I'm saying, just thump out things with your mother, where you don't feel like you would have the space to respect your mother? Like, if a woman is coming in, they're marrying you, and y'all are, coming together on the same page, and, and things of that sort, then even though, like we did say, leave and cleave, we do know that when you're married, your wife does take the place of coming first in your life. However, a woman who is suitable for you, she's not going to hinder your ability to properly respect your mother, or if you needed to assist and care for her, or just things, what I'm saying. And so I think, and let me throw this in here too, I think that's something that sometimes mothers have to properly address and rectify in themselves as well, because sometimes mothers I hate to say it, sometimes these mothers raise their children to be like that because they're too invasive, Are they too overbearing? Are they too wanting and things of that sort? And they don't know how to stay in their lane when it comes down to their children's relationships. And so I think there's something that all of us, men, women, and parents that have children who are at these ages of marriage can work to try to rectify in how we approach things, because it's like at the end of the day, from the God's perspective, when you get married, your wife, your husband, they come first, but like I said, I don't see how he sees it, and where's the conflict coming at, unless he's experienced something with her, saying maybe interfering. There was something he needed to do for his mother, and she was like, no, or something, or some jealousy or something. I don't know, unless he experienced that. I'm like, yeah, nah, bro, that's just an excuse. You know what I'm saying? And so, yeah, I'm like, we gotta stop that. We have gotta, even the women, we have gotta be more concerned with those we allow to put us in a position to impregnate us, if they are not the kind that's wanting to take us on, to down that path. Now I know this is a different era and generation, and I know there are some out there that will argue, well, maybe she don't want to get married, maybe they don't want to. People have all these different views on marriage and whatnot, but marriage is still an institution that's honored by God. It is, God never designed us to be living out here, single mothers, single fathers, broken households, like those sorts of things only further drive wedges in the downfall and the divide and the conflict that we see in our communities, you know what I'm saying? And so it's like, why would you even want that, And so it's like, no, we definitely got to do better. There's definitely room for growth in those various areas, in my personal opinion. And I think he's just kind of furthering that narrative, and when these people make these statements like this here, and it's almost like, people take these celebrities and what they say like it's the new golden rule, like, oh, he's smart. That's nah, bruh, that ain't the way. Nah, bruh.
Listen, once again, my sisters have knocked it out the park. I totally agree with what they both said. Let me take a minute to big up my mother-in-law, Carol Greer. The day that I met her, because see, I'm thinking I'm doing something. She just let me know, no, sis, let me show you how it's done. Because Cliff and I went to go pick her up from work. And I'm thinking, let me move to the back seat so that she can have the front seat, so that I can let her know subconsciously and subtly, I know I'm not the wife yet. You his mama, we're coming to pick you up. I'm moving to the back seat so that you can have the front seat, right? So that's what I'm thinking, because it's our first time meeting. I want her to know I'm not coming in like a freight train. I'm coming in like a gentle breeze, okay? When she came out, she looked in the front, getting ready to say hi to me, and there's nobody in there. She's like, what are you doing back in the back? And I said, well, I wanted you to be able to have the front, the front seat. She told me, she said, don't you ever give up your seat. I wasn't even his wife.
Mama Greer?
I wasn't even his wife yet. We were engaged. We were getting married weeks later.
Wow.
And our first meeting, one of the first things she ever said to me was, don't you ever give up your seat.
My God, I felt that in the spirit.
She has 3 sons, but she did not raise her sons to be her husband. She got a husband. So that's the thing. You don't raise your sons to be your husband.
I love it.
Now, all 3 of her boys love their mama. No. And listen, those will always be her babies, no matter how old they get, married, children, everything. Those will always be her babies. But she makes it very clear, y'all are grown. 2 of them are married. One of them has a child. So, there's a very clear line there. Yeah. And she helped facilitate that line being drawn. Beautiful. And it's cool because I have a separate relationship with her. Cliff has a separate relationship with her. And we don't involve ourselves in each other's relationship with his mother. She's my mom too. So if I want to talk to her about something, I don't have to go through him. And he doesn't have to feel like he can't talk to his mother because he's married to me. It's, again, about honor. It's about respect. It's about, what does the word say? There was definitely leaving and cleaving.
Yes.
But we know that she's always there.
Yeah.
And that's a beautiful thing. That's the kind of mother I want to be to my son.
Yeah.
Y'all know I love me some Alonzo Eugene Greer. That is my boo. That's my baby. But I know I want him to grow up. I want him to get married. I want him to have children. I don't want him to be up under me all the time. You know, Cliff and I look forward to when our children get older and they go out and then we can go and frolic and be, free again.
Yeah.
Go and
Yeah.
do what we want to do without having to worry about, the kids, we got to check in on the kids. We got to make sure the kids are, are somewhere where they need to be at, you raise your children to grow up. You don't raise them to be babies. Alonzo is growing and doing stuff, and he's standing, pulling up on us and standing up, and he's crawling and he's doing. We want him to do these things. We don't want him to be on our hip forever. You don't raise children to serve you. And I think there's a disproportionate amount of examples of the son feeling obligated to the mother, because you very rarely hear a woman say, I'm not going to get married because my daddy needs me.
Come on now.
I'm not going to get married because my daddy needs me to be a caretaker. No, it's a lot of times it is the son that has been made to feel as though he is responsible for his mother's happiness. It made to be responsible for his mother's well-being. And it's like, no, that was your daddy job. And if your daddy didn't do that, that's between your mama and your daddy. But you have the responsibility as a child to honor your parent. That's what the word says. Honor your mother and your father. Okay. And honor includes different things, but you don't give your life up for your parents no more than you're expected to give up your life for your children. Alonzo does not come before our marriage, because our marriage has to be solid so that his life is solid, and I'm not expecting Alonzo to make me happy. I'm happy on my own. I'm not expecting him to fill a void. That's what happens sometimes when people have children. They have children to fill a void, not to produce legacy, not to be fruitful and multiply. It's not just about having a bunch of babies. It's about creating people in this world that love and serve and honor God. It's about birthing more people into this world that are creating a culture of praise and worship to our God. It's not about the cute Instagram pictures. It's not about, feeling like you got a mini me. It's not about feeling like you have like a built-in boyfriend because you got a son now. It's like, no, there's something inherently unhealthy about the expectation of, my mama. It's like, yo, your mother, first of all, your mother should have enough responsibility within her to say, no, son, I understand that you want to cover me, you want to take care of me, but that's not your job.
Yeah.
That is not your job. It is not Alonzo's job to cover me. It's Cliff's job.
That part.
So I would never put that responsibility on Alonzo. Even when, a mother and a father raise children and then the father passes, it's still not the children's responsibility. It's still not the son's responsibility to cover, to carry his mother as though she were his wife.
Yeah.
There's just something just not right about that. It's not biblical. To honor your mother and your father does not mean to give your life up for them. It does not. So I had a problem with it too.
My God.
Yeah. So listen, whew.
I know.
We're, our time is winding down, but we definitely want to make room and make time for our sister segment.
Yeah.
Now the whole theme of today was talking about reinvention, and we definitely want to give Andrea time to talk about what she wants to talk about, and then we'll have our conversation, how we do afterwards. But I want to give the floor to our sister Andrea Purry, the Purpose Pusher, as part of our sister segment. Go ahead, love.
Listen, Linda, the sister segment is a time where we kind of showcase our strengths, the thing that we're strong in, the thing that where we have, I guess we felt like a push where God has led us to. Daisy, she is in wellness. Pastor Greer, she is a minister of the cloth. She's a pastor. Coach Janice, she is heavily in finance and building brands and coaching the kingdom way. And myself, Andrea Lynette Purry, I am your purpose pusher, pushing you into purpose with prayer and affirmation. My job as an intercessor is to intercede. My job as a purpose pusher is to push you to the place where you maybe thought, okay, I need a little extra. I need a little extra help. I need a little extra. And whatever that looks like for you. Our main theme today is reinventing yourself. It means to identify values or activities that no longer serve you. What are you doing or what have you done that no longer serves you? There's a place in prayer where we like to call target prayers, where we identify the actual thing that we need to target in prayer and we hit it hard. We go into warfare, we go into intercession, we go into the place where we have literally petitioned God on behalf of ourselves or on behalf of another individual. When we're doing this, it is a place where I like to call where we come to God with our whole heart. And why do I want to mention our whole heart? Because sometimes we can come to God in prayer and we come to him maybe not so, I want to say, kind of timid sometimes. And we're not coming to him with our minds and our bodies and our souls being made up and thinking that he can solve it, because we're looking at him like man. But when we look to God like who he is, the God that can do anything but fail, he is a God that can come through for you anytime. When you notice something that is not serving you, when you notice something that is not gifting you with the ability to push forward into purpose, that is the time where you pray that thing out, discipline yourself, remove yourself from it. And it's something, a word that a lot of times, as Christians, we don't like to hear, but I think it's one of the things that we really need in today's time. And that is fasting, denying our flesh, letting go of those things that, we come to for the thing where we need to be going to prayer in, letting go of those things. Because sometimes the thing that you're holding on to because a lot of times, we just fast from food. A lot of times that's probably like the number one thing. But what else is taking up your time where you could be going to God? What else is it? Is it social media? Is it TV? Is it a certain person? Are you talking to other people more than you talk to God? Whatever that thing is or whatever that person is, that's the place where I believe you should go to God about. This is your sister segment. And remember, reinvention starts with prayer.
Woo! I liked it at that. Yes. I know that's not proper grammar, but I liked it at that a whole lot. Yes, my sister came through as per usual. I also want to add to that Romans 12:2, child, the Amplified version. And do not be conformed to this world any longer with its superficial values and customs, but be transformed and progressively changed as you mature spiritually by the renewing of your mind, focusing on godly values and ethical attitudes, so that you may prove for yourselves what the will of God is, that which is good and acceptable and perfect in his plan and purpose for you.
My God, amen.
So that reinvention is a constant thing. So thank you, sister, for that beautiful segment. Coach, sis, do you have anything you want to add to today's episode before our executive producer slides in, Mr. Surprise?
I think we've covered a lot. And even though I know we're probably at whenever time God permits, circle back around if the conversation on reinvention comes back up, because that's something I'm sure that can come up in many different ways. But Andrea had some amazing things to share in her segment just about the overall thing, and I think that just as a rounding up thought, it's important for us to really know that as we're kind of going through life, that we have to be willing to embrace, just the evolving seasons, because, even like the people we spoke about in these different hot topics, Keke Palmer, Marlon Wayans, even, just these different places, like, you're always growing, you're always evolving. And so there's always a continual journey of pretty much reinventing yourself in the different spaces and seasons and times of your life, and so I think we got to give ourselves grace in that process and in that journey. And listen, I loved what Sister Andrea, let me emphasize on what she said when she said about that fasting and prayer. That those two things there, listen, Linda, you
Yes.
know, this, and I don't even think some of us even realize just how much that might be keeping us through the evolving seasons,
Yeah.
that fasting and prayer being before God. And so emphasis on that, what she said,
Hmm.
but other than that, no, I think everything has been amazing. The things we've talked about, and I pray that those who are viewing had something that they can take away from this. Even if you just zone in on that sister segment, that was a beautiful wrap up.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. Yes, we like we all always say, we pray that you all feel like we're not preaching at you, but that we're talking to you. And we thank y'all always for the comments, the views, the shares, on all the platforms, whether it be via the podcast, live, YouTube. We very much appreciate your viewership, and you're a part of our family. You're not just viewers, you are our family. So we thank you very much once again for being a part of us. And we're sending love to Daisy and Jessica. Whenever one or two of us isn't available, we always jump in and cover each other, because that is what sisters do. So we sending, love and prayers, to our sisters that are not on today. And we just look forward to doing more of this. This is a thing. This is our thing. This is what we do. So we're very grateful. So we know our executive producer, he gonna slide in and say, there he is. Hey.
What is up, y'all? What is up, y'all? Another powerful episode, per
Yeah,
usual. It was an amazing episode, talking about the whole Kiki Palmer situation, the Marlon Wayans situation, and talking about reinventing yourself. For me, I can honestly say that in this season that I'm in now, I am learning to reinvent myself, as well as from going from my single season into a not single season and going into another season in my life. So I'm learning how to better navigate that. So this conversation was definitely needed for me, and definitely appreciate it. Always a good conversation when I get to sit back and listen to my sisters. Y'all, I count myself blessed because not only do I get to listen to them on live, but I have personal access to these ladies in the same way that they are going in on y'all on live. They go in on me. When I tell you, I be taking notes as they're going in on me, like, okay, bet. Okay, what did you just say there? Okay. Gotcha, gotcha. Don't do that. Got it. Got it.
All
So
in love. All in love.
exactly, exactly. So I appreciate them. As we always say, we will see y'all next week. Next week we will have our brothers back on. We excited about having them. Tune in to the podcast, which will drop at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time on every podcast site starting tomorrow. If you paid attention, as we talked about reinventing, if you paid attention to the Facebook page and the Instagram page, since we have our brothers on now, it's no longer the Godly View Soul Sisters. It is the Godly View, because we want to incorporate our brothers as well. And so we're putting everything under one umbrella. So y'all make sure y'all tune in and rock with us. As we always say, sometimes our disappointments are nothing more than God's appointments, meaning some things that we're looking at is bad. God is only turning it around for our good. Stay blessed, be blessed, and be a blessing to someone else. See y'all next week. Peace.